Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. So first of all, I just want to say I do not know why it took me so long to sit down and actually film this video, because it's like a damn good story. Second of all, I just wanted to make this clear right from the beginning. All events that happen in this story are 100% true. Hashtag no clickbait 2018, no clickbait ever on this channel. This story is simply sponsored by all the liquid courage that Crown Royal Apple can give someone to get themselves into these type of situations. All right, let's get started. The time that I stole Scott Disick's hoodie. Me and Paul get to Vegas on a Thursday night. I am in DC, so take about 5-hour flight to get over there. We get to the hotel, check in. It's a pretty dope suite at one of the Hiltons. We had like one of those timeshare weekends that you get for free as long as you sit through like a 2-hour presentation. So we got one of like the best rooms that they had, which was pretty awesome. We decided to go and find a liquor store. Previously mentioned Crown Royal, that's where this comes in. So we go to the liquor store that is across the street, and ironically, so do you guys know that guy Harvey J? Harry J? He's the one that does like all like the Henny thing. That was a struggle. Henny thing is possible. He does like Hennessy chicken wings and Hennessy cake and Hennessy turkey, whatever. I'm pretty sure his name is Harvey J. It's either Harry J or Harvey J. But look him up. I'll put a picture right here if you know what I'm talking about. But we get to the liquor store, and that is who was in line in front of us. And I didn't know who he was back then. I only kind of like found out who he was a couple months later, because I saw him in a meme that was like pretty viral now that I think about it. But he had like the whole get up, like what he normally looks like. Versace robe, Versace slippers, Versace like head wrap thing. And of course he was buying Hennessy while we were there, which I thought was ironic. And he kind of just turned around with his dreads like looking. I don't know why these are dreads, but whatever. He kind of just like turned around and was like minding his own business. But anyway, shout out to him. I should have known the second we saw him in line that this whole trip was about to go like left, like in a good way, because of all the people, of all the times, of all the liquor stores. Next morning, the day of the event. So we get up and we go to a pool party at Encore. I definitely suggest Encore. I'm not really sure because I was just that intoxicated that the party was like fantastic, but Diplo was there, which made it really cool. But it's just like one of those days, like every single piece of that day was like really, really dope. Like we went, it was just me and Paul on this trip, but we met like this entire group of people. Like the whole pool was vibing. Like we were just like going crazy. I'll throw some pictures up here so y'all can see things along this journey to Scott Disick's hoodie. But like we just like met like really dope people, and we're just having a really great time. And by the end of it, I would have to say that we were twisted. I know myself, I was hammered, slammed, done, lit, turned, done. So we take an Uber back to our hotel, and I don't even know what time it was, maybe around like 5 or 6 by that time, and we had been at the pool since like 11. It was a long ass day, and my body felt like I was doing like water aerobics, but I was too turned to sleep. Paul actually went and took a nap. I was really hyped because I knew that night we were gonna see Scott Disick. Of course, before we went, I knew the one place I could probably catch Scott Disick besides somewhere in California or in like Hollywood somewhere was in Vegas. At the time, he was hosting at One Oak, which stands for one of a kind. It's a pretty dope club. If you haven't gone to it, I suggest going to it. But I don't know if he's still hosting it now. Possibly he is. It was around the time, a couple months after, I would say maybe 6 months or so after like Courtney and Scott had broken up. Just to rewind, just to go back, if you don't know who I'm talking about, Scott Disick, then I need you to comment down below the address to the rock that you've been hiding under this whole time, because I'm talking about Scott Disick as in Kourtney Kardashian's ex-boyfriend, baby daddy, etc, etc. If you're like a true Kardashian fan, you kind of might have like a love-hate relationship with Scott Disick, because he's like good and like they're all happy and everybody's cute and the kids are cute, but then like he like wiles out and like stuffs $20 bills in people's mouths, and you're like, Scott, what are you doing? All right, back to the story. Anywho, it was a couple months after they had broken up, and he had like gone to rehab, gotten back out. So I was pretty curious about like what his behavior was gonna be, because obviously, you know, he has issues with alcohol and whatever, which is not our business, that is his business. But I was really interested to see that he was still hosting parties. So before we left to go on this trip, I was like, yes, we're getting these tickets. And it just happened to be on that Friday. And I'm like, perfect. We had no Friday plans in Vegas. We're going to see Scott Disick. Because I was so pressed to see him, and I wanted to be like really up close. We got to the club pretty early. If you have gone out in Las Vegas before as an adult, 21 and up, you guys, you know that like the party does not start in Vegas till way after midnight. So we went early, as in like closer to midnight. We get to the hotel pretty early, like hotel as in the Mirage, because One Oak is inside the Mirage Hotel. One Oak itself is like pretty close to one of the entrances, so we're kind of close to the lobby, like kind of not. So we're just waiting in line. It is literally like me, Paul, 2 other chicks. The bouncers aren't even at the front door because it's that early. Like they have the rope set up, but that's about it. It's like a ghost town in the lobby, kind of just like people, you know, checking in, like normal sounds. So out of nowhere, we're kind of just like sitting there maybe 20 minutes or so, and then people are like, woo, yeah! So you like hear people cheering, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So we turn, and there he is, Scott Disick. He literally is arriving to the club, probably just got off of some private jet, super bougie, and he's walking in, and he has like, I don't even know, maybe 13 people with him, and he's like walking in the middle. He has like some security, he has some like friend looking people, super plain. If you look at Scott Disick's fashion, he doesn't really wear like flashy things. He wears like t-shirts, skinny jeans, hoodies. After seeing him right there in the lobby, I was pretty good. I was pretty satisfied. I was like, I don't really need to see him actually in the club. Of course, we're gonna stay here a little bit longer because I would like to go into the club and party, but I've already seen Scott Disick. I have seen him up close. He walked right past me. He did not acknowledge me in any way, but I did see him, so I was satisfied at that point. He is small, I will say that, as far as like what he looks like in person. He looks exactly the same, but like small. Like short and like skinnier, facial hair, still the same, exactly the same, but just like small. The second that we get into the club, after they let us in, I feel like the bouncers felt bad for us. They're like, all right, there's like 4 people outside. Like, let's just like let them in. So kind of do some surveillance, a look around the club, seeing exactly where Scott might be when he comes in. And behind the DJ booth is like a pretty large VIP section. Down at the bottom of the club, it's kind of like mosh pity, because like you go down some stairs and there's like a lower level, and then there's like 2 or 3 more levels. This part gets a little fuzzy about exact details of the club, but there's multiple levels that have like the different VIP sections on them, but the one right behind it was the biggest one. And celebrities are usually always close to the DJ because they get on the mic, they say a little something, so I knew that I wanted to go somewhere close over there. Hence began Operation Find Scott Disick. I'd say it was maybe like 2 hours in that things like started getting real poppin'. Because of course when you're first in a club, like they're playing all that music that's kind of like early 2000s, like Usher, yeah, and you're like, why? Okay, like I know nobody's here, but like we're here. So we weren't really like turning up, but we were still vibing, we were still having a good time. And I had gone to the bathroom like several times, and there was a bathroom attendant outside of the bathroom and inside of the bathroom. I will get back to that part. It's a very important part of the story. But I had definitely become like friends with the guy on the outside because he would like give me like a head nod, like going to the bathroom again, like super judgy. But I was like, I've been drinking all day, you don't even know. Things start picking up. I'm seeing exactly where everyone is like settling in to all these VIP sections, and how the floor is kind of filling up crazy. And I was like, I don't want to get stuck down here, because if I get squished, I won't be able to like look up and like see where he's at. So I need to like move a little bit closer. So this is where the operation truly began. I was like, listen, Paul, I am going to get us as close as possible to Scott Disick if it kills me. First part of Operation Get Close to Scott. We go up to the first level of VIPs. There's no bouncers, there's no rope. We just kind of like shimmy our way in, and we're a little bit closer, and we can see a little better little view across the club. On that first level is a pretty large VIP that is full of gentlemen, like an entire crew. I would say maybe like 13 dudes. The first time I had ever seen like ice buckets that were full of not bottles, but like liquor bottles. They were bottles of Coronas, like they were just Coronas, like mass. I think they maybe had like 3 or 4 of these ice buckets just full of Coronas, and I was like, this must be a Vegas thing. So we make friends pretty instantly, and they're like, hey man, here's a Corona, here's a Corona. So Paul's chatting them up and talking, and as the party really gets going, I was like, I need to get closer because I can see there's a lot of girls in the VIP section that is directly behind the DJ and the ones that are on the left and on the right of it. I was like, I have to get into one of the ones on the left or the right so I can be closer and then make my way in. I may not make my way all the way in, but I want to be close enough. I kid you not, for maybe like 40 minutes or so, I'm just like bouncing from VIP to VIP. I'm like sliding my way into this one. And I finally make my way into the one that is directly to the left of the DJ booth. There were actually 2 bodyguards that were sitting in front of the entrance to that VIP, but like I said, ladies, you just gotta act like you are the boss, like you just know where you're going. So I just like walked in right past them. I was like, hey girls, didn't know any of these girls, didn't know none of them, but the good thing was that everybody was just drunk and didn't care. Like nobody was like, oh, who is this girl in our thing? It didn't really matter. It did not take very long for me to like realize that Scott was there because people were like screaming and like yelling his name. So I was like, cool, he's here, I'm close, this is it. So then he comes in and this. We didn't take a picture. That's what I was yelling. I was yelling like, Scott, selfie. And like, he just wasn't, no. He was like, oh, no. Like, I'm not taking a picture with you right now. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. Walk back and go find Paul, who was having a great time, by the way. Thanks, boys, for taking care of him while I was on my mission. So I bring him over to the section. Nobody really says anything. It was pretty cool. We stand up on that same ledge and we're jamming. We're having a great time. So twisted. So at one point, you guessed it, Scott takes his hoodie off because we're in a club, obviously starting to sweat and stuff, and things are like really getting crazy. We've probably been there for maybe 3 or 4 hours at this point. So he takes it off and he sets it on the DJ booth, like right next to the DJ's tables, like his turntables. And standing in front of that hoodie is, you might have not guessed this, a bodyguard. Like this. Looking each side to side, and every couple of minutes, well 30 minutes or so, like he would turn around and like touch the hoodie, like put his hand on it, like to make sure it's there. And I was like, oh, this is like not a game at all. But like the DJ is like making out with some chick, the bodyguard who was watching the hoodie has some chick on his arm, everyone is just jamming. So I don't know what happened, it just like dawned on my brain, like, I'm taking this hoodie. I'm gonna take his hoodie. So I turned to Paul, who was like full jam mode, like getting it turned up, like done. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna take his hoodie. Like that was me like yelling. I'm like yelling in the club. I think I'm gonna take his hoodie. And Paul's like, yeah, do it. Like, heck yeah, that's great, do it. It's like hashtag marriage goals for a second. I gotta talk about some marriage goals. Because if your man encourages you to go and do something like that, just, yes, that's support. If you haven't married him, marry him. So a new plan is set in motion. First we went in there like Operation Let's Find Scott. Now it's like take Scott's hoodie. Like it elevated very quickly over several hours, and probably more Crown Royal Apple and Ciroc for sure. Definitely there was some Ciroc involved. So at one point I lean back on the ledge as so, and I reach over and I take the hoodie and I just like throw it on the floor. Just like straight toss it onto the floor. It lands right next to my feet, so I'm just like, oh, keep dancing. Acting like everything's totally normal, didn't just take the hoodie. And my heart is beating like crazy. Like I'm just nervous. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, did anybody see it? There's so many people in this club. Like, you know, you vibing out, you seeing, I'm seeing, who's seeing me, seeing what I'm seeing. So I told Paul, if I take this hoodie, we have to leave immediately. Like there's no, oh, I'm gonna take the hoodie and just like put it down somewhere and like let it rest. Like no, like if I take it, we have to leave. So I throw it onto the ground and I'm like jamming and I'm jamming, I'm nervous, probably looking like really crazy. And I'm like, Paul, we gotta go. Paul's like, what are you talking about? We're having a great time. I'm like, babe, we gotta go. We gotta go, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to go, got the stuff. And he's like, oh my God, where is it? And I'm like, it's by my foot, like we gotta go. Get the hoodie, I hook it onto my foot, I fling it up. Have you ever like taking your sock off like halfway on the floor, then you like fling it up and like catch it. It was kind of like one of those moments. Grab it and I book it. I mean, book it. The people, I must have just looked like I was doing something incriminating because I just ran. But I also probably looked like I had to like throw up or something because I was like really nervous. But I like ran with the hoodie like this into my arms. I'm like running. So I run and I go into the bathroom. Remember that bathroom attendant earlier that I became friends with? Instead of making me wait in the line, he just kind of was like go ahead, like go ahead. So I ran straight to the bathroom and I'm like, thank goodness, because what the heck am I gonna do? Like sit there with the hoodie in my arms? Like, no, no. Not like this hoodie is just like some regular hoodie. Like it's black and has white writing on it, like the big like Yeezy print. It says Lord like 4 times down the back. It's like pretty freaking obvious. So I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do? So I run into the stall with the hoodie and I flip it inside out. Duh. I fall outside and I'm like, let's go. We book it out of this club, looking just crazy. So I'm running and I'm in this hoodie. So I have like this black hoodie on that like covers basically like my whole body. It looks like a dress almost, and like my heels, and I'm just like running and running. And this is one of the crazier parts of the story. So as we're running, I remember earlier I told you that there was a bodyguard that was watching this hoodie. Poor bodyguard, I hope you didn't lose your job over this. As we're running out of the club, thank goodness the club is close to the entrance because we can just make it straight out the door, but there still is a little bit to run. So we're running and we're going, and there's like security of the hotel, and I can hear on the walkie-talkies, it's like loud enough to hear from their radios, and it's like black hoodie, old English lettering, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like are you kidding me? Like they are looking for this hoodie. So we run, I cannot say we were booking it enough, like running so crazy fast, and across the way is a parking garage. So we're just like looking, and there's like taxis coming and cars. So we just like cross the street, go into the parking garage. I think we took the elevator. I'll show you a screenshot right here, like all the different Paul's like snapping photos like a crazy person. So this video right here I'm going to show you is like directly after we got into that parking garage. Excuse the language of Paul.
So how you feel right now, baby?
I got Scott Disick.
As you stole fucking Scott Disick's hoodie.
You can afford it.
You will be okay.
Lord.
Think I was gonna get rid of that thing? Sell it on eBay or something? Nope. You wanna see it? So this is the hoodie, you guys. This is the back. This is the Lord I was telling you about, because if you're a Kardashian fan, you already know why it says that. Come on now, do better. It's like, you would think it would maybe be like some, I don't know, like bougie cotton or something, but it's made by this company called Independent Trading Company. I looked them up. They looked pretty regular. You can get like custom hoodies, 70% cotton, 30% polyester, and size large if you were curious. So it looked like in the front, it just says Lord. Got your hoodie, son. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, definitely hit subscribe and join the crew. See you guys next time in my next video. Bye.
Yeah. Versace, Medusa head on me like I'm Illuminati. This is a gated community. Please get the fuck up the property.
So how you feel right now, baby?
I got Scott Disick.
As you stole fucking Scott Disick's hoodie.
He'll be okay. You can afford it.
He will be okay.
Lord.